Here we have a new 2026 Toyota Prius. This one comes in the XLE trim level in windshield pearl. And then we have ash soft text interior. The powertrain consists of a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder hybrid engine that's mated with the Synergy drive system. But this is probably my favorite hybrid on the market, as opposed, well, other than the Camry hybrid. But to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights. And I like how they designed this car. It's so futuristic looking, but it still looks like a Prius. It still has the same presence as a Prius. You're still getting that 52 miles per gallon city, 52 highway. Now down here to these wheels, these are gonna be 19-inch alloy. So bigger wheel here, still fantastic fuel economy, and I love the looks, just how it sets on the car itself. I love how we have the gloss black kind of wheel well covers there, and it does make this car pop, especially in this windshield pearl. You can even see the black mirror caps there, no chrome, black around the windows, so pretty nice. Passive keyless entry on the front, one-touch up and down windows on all 4 doors, power door lock controls, power mirrors, rear window lockout, and then you have your blind spot monitors in the side mirrors, bottle holder, open the fuel cap here, hood, and this one does have the all-weather floor mats. You have the windshield deicer here, heated steering wheel toggle, auto high beams, and I believe we have ambient lighting in here. That's crazy. I think that's what I'm looking at. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But there is the power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar support. Now I want to give a huge thanks to John Roberts Toyota here in Manchester, Tennessee for allowing me to review this Prius today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second or third link down below, depending if you want a new or used one. I'll make sure the local dealers get you the best price on this or whatever vehicle you might be interested in. But I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so I'm gonna sit behind myself, see how the space is. So pretty good, especially for this kind of car. Now my thing is, my feet are huge. I have a size 15 shoe. My feet they can go underneath the seat, but it's like having on a shoe that's too tight. I can feel the bottom of the seat and I can't really move my feet around, but they'll fit under there, so just keep that in mind. Down here you have 2 USB-C charge ports. There's a view of the front from back here. And then LED reading lights. Middle seat folds down, bottle holders are there. And then grab handle here. Now, if you need your child locks on both doors, lock, unlock there. And there's the fuel cap. Takes regular gas. And this windshield pearl just looks so beautiful, specifically in the sunlight. But there's the back end. I like the design there. And again, I like how we have the black there, and then we have the windshield pearl, and you also have the black around the tail lamp itself. Now, if you want to open this thing up, where's that button? Here it is. If I can get it, there it is. But I mean, a decent sized cargo space, I think, for a car like this. Have a little bit of access down below if you want to put a tire inflator kit or something like that. And then I like that we have the side pocket here. And I don't know what's under this. I don't want to figure it out right now. But very big side pockets. There's a look underneath. Gonna try to hurry up the outside part because it is very hot with no wind, which I like no wind for filming, but it's like 88 degrees out and I'm starting to burn up. If you want to fold the seat flat, push this in here, pull down, you can run longer objects through to the front. If you need the top tethers for the car seats, they're actually on the back of the seats themselves. And then pretty easy to lock it back into place. And then you have your lower anchors behind these covers. Now to the window sticker, y'all can pause anywhere you need to if you want to take a closer look at anything. But a few options, and then suggested retail price $34,633. And then we get a manual front passenger seat, but it is a 6-way, so we can pump the seat back up or down, or the whole seat up or down. The seat back can be adjusted there, and the seat bottom, pull that bar out there to move it. Yeah, I'm impressed with that ambient light. And then in the glove compartment, we do have the owner's manuals here. And I like the trim overall, it looks very nice. As we come back around to the front, just a quick look in the engine bay. And again, a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, made with the electric motor, so. Now before we hop in, I'm just gonna show off the blinkers. And there you have it. But to the driver's seat. So I like the Softex wrap wheel, feels very nice, relatively thick, I think. There's the horn you would expect from a Prius. Now over here to the audio system, we have the Experience Drive Connect. If you want to use the cloud-based navigation with a subscription, you have that. Audio sources include AM, FM, XM, as well as your Apple Music, Amazon Music. You also have Bluetooth and Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility. A few climate controls there. Energy flow, you can see that. And then your general settings, you can change your language or units of measurement there. So pretty simple radio. Backup cameras here. Then your volume knob, you can adjust that, click that to turn the audio source off. Hazards. And then down below, we do have the single zone automatic climate control, so we can adjust the temperature here, fan speed, fan direction. You have 3-stage heated seats, defrosters, and then you can cut the whole system off here. Now for your USB connection, you actually do get a USB-C here, so you can plug this in and that'll connect directly to the radio, again through a USB-C connection. A lot of the newer Toyotas still have USB-A, so if that's a plus for you, you have that. But you also still have the USB-C charge port as well, that's only for charging. 12-volt storage there. You have a little hidden compartment underneath. And then bottle holders. For the shifter, just hit the brake, reverse, neutral, drive, and then you have your engine brake in there. And then you have a button, press P for park. Now for your drive modes, you do get 4 of those actually. One of them's a custom mode. I'm gonna try and zoom in here. You have your Eco, Normal, Sport, Custom. And then you have your EV mode as well. Your brake holders here, and then you have your traction control and your electronic parking brake there. A center console cubby space. 2 USB-C charge ports are in there. And then you do have a wireless charging pad in here. And you actually have a power button, which I love. So you're not having to just stick anything in here and then it'll just try and charge everything. You can actually power it up and power it down, which is nice. There's a look at the back seat from up here. Lights, garage door transmitter, vanity mirror, and then back to the steering wheel, left side stalk, blinkers, low beams and auto there. You do get automatic wipers on this vehicle, 1-time off, auto, low, high. You can adjust that auto speed there and then pull up here for the fluid. And then behind the left side stalk, you can adjust the brightness for the gauge cluster. And then you also have the trip meter you can pull up. But these buttons over here, not the phone button, but these arrows and then this back button kind of helps you go through the gauge cluster. You can toggle a bunch of stuff on or off. Go to your meter settings and all of that. You can adjust whatever. There's a ton of doing here. Most of it you don't really need, but it's always nice to have it. Voice recognition, volume, track list or radio station presets, and then this goes to your audio sources. We have Safety Sense 3.0, I believe, so that does give us the driving support system, so we can turn the lane keeping system on, and then that'll toggle the lane tracing, and we can go between adaptive or cruise standard cruise control there. Set the speed, and then when everything's set up, you can turn the support system on there. Push button start. And then finally, here's the key fob. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2026 Prius XLE out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Prius XLE, very interesting driving, I guess, perspective here. You have a smaller, naturally aspirated hybrid system here, so it doesn't drive like the Camry hybrid. It still has a bit of pep in its step, but not like the Camry does. I feel like the Camry drives more normally, like what I'd expect from a car. The Prius drives like a Prius. So not necessarily anything wrong with that, just something to keep in mind. You get a bit better fuel economy here, but you're paying close to the same money, maybe $2 cheaper for the Prius over a comparable XLE Camry. But ultimate fuel economy monster here if you're not gonna have an electric car. But I also like the footprint of this better. It's very easy to maneuver, very easy to drive. A lot of older people, seniors, if they want a hybrid car, this is what they go with because it's easy to drive. Now it is a bit quirky in the way that it is, like you have the gauge cluster right there in front of you. Not that that's quirky, but how the steering wheel is set up in the dash, it's basically impeding my view the entire time. Not something that necessarily bothers me, but just wanted to point that out. And then a lot of people might not like that the screen is kind of tall as well. It's not necessarily impeding on my vision, but it can be a bit distracting because it pops up and it's there. Now I like that because it's easier to keep your eyes on the road while you're using the screen as opposed to something being down here. But I can see why some people might find it distracting because it's a pretty bright screen and that gloss black trim, although it looks nice, it is very reflective. So you might think somebody's, like a ghost is behind you or something because you can see the reflection in the trim. But again, I'm nitpicking here. Big thing for me is visibility. I like that we have a pretty wide angle out of the rear glass. It's not necessarily tall, but again, it gets you a pretty panoramic view back there. Also like the pillars here, you have the glass. It's not just a, you know, big old plastic piece blocking half the road. But you have blind spot monitors, you have safety features with a safety sense. So backing up out of parking spots, getting close to things in front of you, you have a few things to help you there. Now, I do like how they did the Prius, I guess, logos throughout. You have it here. It looks very nice on the door jambs there, or the kick plates, I should say. And the ambient lighting is a nice touch there. It looks very good. Now I hope that's ambient lighting. It's not just like a glow trim, because that's what it looks like to me, but pretty sure that's what that is. Now I don't know if you can change the color or anything, but again, it's nice to have. And that's one of the reasons I like to do my car reviews the way that I do them, because a lot of this stuff y'all tell me in the comments, hey, that's what this is, because I don't sit here and research the cars like a lot of other people do, just because I want to get as much content out as possible. And I'm not necessarily a teacher as much as I am an enthusiast, so I like to be able to drive as many cars as possible, kind of get a feel for them. And you can kind of tell, okay, if I'm getting this car for the first time, here's some things I might miss, because the guy who literally reviews cars all day even missed it. So, but the interior itself feels minimal, but also there's a lot here, and I like that about this. It doesn't feel like a Tesla where you feel like you're not looking at anything, but there's a ton of stuff in the screen. You have everything you need throughout. It's just not overwhelming. Now I'm gonna put it into the sport mode, and we're gonna see if we can get this thing going. Not gonna floor it, but gonna give it a little something. Here we go. So again, was just pushing it just a tad. And yeah, I mean, it got up to speed very nicely. Now we're gonna put on the driving support system. Make sure everything is on, adjust the gap. So there's that. Adaptive cruise lane centering. I say this all the time, I'll say it again. Fantastic system that Toyota has developed. But I want to give one more huge thanks to John Roberts Toyota here in Manchester, Tennessee for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these, new, pre-owned, whatever it may be, click one of those links down below, the second or third, and it takes just a minute to fill out your information. I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on a Prius or whatever vehicle you might be interested in. Now you're hearing just a tad bit of wind noise here. The wind's kind of picked up. I don't know if it's the clouds or whatever. Also, you're lower to the ground. These trucks are right by me, but still it's a relatively nice sound in here. Again, if you're comparing this to the Camry with that having a standard hybrid powertrain, one of the pluses of the Camry is the sound acoustics in there are fantastic. It's very quiet, very calm. The ride's a bit better. The wheels, of course, this one has 19-inch wheels. You know, the wheels are, or I should say the tires are a tad less loud. But this one, it's a very nice Prius. I love having the soft text interior. I like how the screen is set up, the AC controls, the dash. It feels very futuristic, even if it's in a more basic package than you can get in, let's say, a limited Prius. But it's not basic, don't get me wrong. We have a heated steering wheel, the de-icer. But I think if you're in the market for something like this, you won't be disappointed. There's a ton of reliability behind this car. It has a track record for being very reliable. It's still relatively fun to drive, and we just have a few more amenities than we're used to in the Prius lineup. So with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2026 Toyota Prius XLE.